What do you expect for the status of cannabis in Thailand under the new parliament?
It was legalized last year, but there's also a backlash. So, with the lack of kind of firm regulations governing the sale and the use, there's been a growing backlash from different parts of the country. One of the major parties, Thai, I guess they seized on that. And Thai are known for their stance on drugs from the past. The prime minister at the time, Thaksin, he announced one of his major things was he declared a war on drugs, and then it was a violent campaign. It led to thousands of people being killed in an arbitrary way. Coming into the election, one of their promises was to bring back the war on drugs.
And what about if the favored candidate for Prime Minister, Pita, from the Progressive Move Forward Party wins? Would you still expect to see a reban?
I think it's kind of more disappointing from the Move Forward Party. You'd expect a more progressive stance that embraced the evidence rather than just political rhetoric. They've made this promise on this platform saying that they're going to reclassify cannabis as a narcotic again. It's a response to a backlash, but it's a very misguided one, saying that people who produce and grow and sell cannabis don't need to worry because if they already have a license, then they will not be impacted. But those two things cannot be true at the same time.
How would Thailand's handling of cannabis affect the region, if at all?
If you were to question cannabis, that leads to opening the door potentially to questioning the whole legal regime around drugs. And I think some countries, particularly Singapore, worry about that. When it comes to trafficking of drugs or the supply of drugs, some of the worst responses that you see around the world are also in this region in Southeast Asia. And that's executing people. So, including for possession of cannabis in Singapore, as a government, you feel like you've been telling people for decades this line about drugs, and now you're saying cannabis is fine and could even be good for you. That has been a hard thing for governments to grapple with, including in Thailand.